My initial idea was to skip the review for this game, but when I've noticed that most of the reviewers gave him great scores, I could not let it go. Gears of War 4 is far from being a masterpiece. Gears of War 4 it's a third-person shooter where you continue to use the usual cover mechanism in the vast majority of fights. This time there was a new producer behind the story, which makes everything more difficult, because it's not always easy to catch the momentum of previous productions. The secret was not to change much. Move on to the new generation of characters, keeping the previous ones on secondary roles. This was kept the plot secure, but often the story enters a swamp of poorly explained connections from where it takes time to live, and most of those moments with no apparent purpose in the game. However, that did not ruin the gameplay. Graphically, I've loved the game, which ran virtually flawless on my PC. I think it was for this reason alone that I've enjoyed it so much. So much detail everywhere. I really did not expect that. Especially the storms. Well, all natural phenomena were very well characterized either graphically or in sound effects. And that's how I introduced the sound quality of the game, which, given the quality of the characterization of the storms, seemed exceptional to me. It is not so impressive inside buildings, but even there I cannot point out any glitches. Gameplay-wise, I've spent about 10 hours in the campaign mode. Cover, shoot, advance, repeat. Completely on rails. This is the complete portrait of the game mechanics here. It's always the same. We are stuck in an endless loop of always doing the same. Yes, the opponents pressure us more, they'll try to flank us, but in any time I had the opportunity to use any type of tactics. I just use the corridor, advance, cover, shoot, and that's it. It wears our soul out. There are moments of cinematics in which they show us great landscapes where the swarm, name given to the new enemies that evolve from the Locust, is giant. So many enemies that we begin to salivate by anticipation, only to arrive at that place and to realize that it is almost empty, or only with a tiny amount of the enemies that we had seen previously. Doing some and no spoilers, near the final battle we saw a canyon packed full with enemies, only to arrive there and see it completely empty. Now, how much waste? There are parts in the game where we can put barricades and turrets to fight hordes. That's pretty cool, I assume. But then the fighting mechanics are the same as usual, so... New weapons have been introduced, all of them overpowered in every situation. However, it is difficult to find ammunition for them, which causes us to do some inventory management. But given that the Lancer is enough to deal with any and every situation, and it is relatively simple to find ammunition for it, well, I do not need to say more. Enjoy the moments of pure fun that the new weapons will provide you. They are well worth it. There are collectibles to pick up, but I admit that although I've looked for them after I got them, I've never looked at them again. The multiplayer mode is still very active on almost all modes, but as soon as I discovered the Horde mode, it was there that I spent all my time. Simply the funniest mode of this game, and alone more than enough to play the game. A team of 4 fighting 50 successive swarm hordes, with the possibility of building barricades, turrets, and other mechanisms to stun and kill enemies is super rewarding. I never reached the last level. I think the best I could do was get to 34, but always with a smile on my face. This was for me the replay value of the game, because in the campaign they will not catch me again. In a nutshell, did I have fun? Yes. To be honest, the game has this ability to let us grumble and move forward as if we were Muttley. It seems impossible, but while grunting, I always wanted to play more and more, find out what was next. You can see that the game did not impress me much, but now that it is in Game Pass, it's well worth playing.